What is going on, everyone? Chris with Journos Comics, and this is Friday Night Live. We are live, and there are so many beautiful people already hanging out. Man, I got to give a big shout out to everyone that's already here. We're going to have an awesome show tonight, guys. It's all about you all tonight. Q&A. I got a couple things that I'm going to go over and some things to show off, of course. But I really wanted to make tonight's show all about my viewers. So big shout out Caleb, Jay, Remy, Shadow Rat, Dan. What is up, guys? Caleb, glad you're here, man, for sure. Green Man, X11 Bravo. Pedro, what is going on? Louis, P. Keel. All right, we got some awesome folks. Okay, I'm going to start by talking about this. I have my fingers crossed. You all know that I've been having internet issues for a very long time. And obviously, I've been trying to work through that to be here, to be able to give you guys an awesome live show every Friday night. I had some work done in my house by the technicians to help out the internet. So I want some feedback right now on how the show is looking right now. And if we're good, if it's choppy, let me know. Anybody willing to give me some feedback, I would greatly appreciate it. Joe, what's going on, Joe? John, what's up? John, Matt, what is up, Matt? Thank you guys for being here. Like I said, we're going to have an awesome show. Of course, it's Friday, so we always have our comic book canon show after this show on our comic book canon YouTube. That link is below if you guys aren't subbed up over there. 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Every Friday night, we have an awesome special guest, Zor's Tiger from Spine Ticks, joining Jeff and I tonight on the canon. So far, so good. All right. Yeah, Street Fighter 2 at the rep, man. Let's see. Sam, looking good, looking great. Awesome, man. I'm hoping we can get through the show with no problems, and I hope this is a new era of Journos Friday Night Lives where we don't have any issues with connectivity and internet, right? All right. So yes, so it's a Q&A tonight, everyone. So don't start asking a bunch of questions yet. Just hold on until I, make the announcement to say when we're going to get into the Q&A. I got some things to show off. Oh yeah. So Jeff's in the house, comic book canon, my other half of the canon. Yeah, so I know Jeff's gonna be like watching my internet connection to make sure I'm good for the canon tonight. Omniverse, what's going on, Peter? Yeah. So no questions. The Silver Age of Journos. Thanks, man. No questions yet. Hold tight. I will say this: anybody that's a member of the channel is gonna get dibs on getting your questions read and answered. Because here's the thing: I'm gonna get to everyone's questions if possible, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot coming in. I can't promise I'm going to get to every single one. My members have a logo next to them, a membership stamp, so I get to see them. I know who they are, and it's going to stand out to me. So I'll make sure that you guys get first dibs, because you're here supporting my channel as a member every single day, every single week, regardless. So, but regardless if you're a member or not, and you're just hanging out tonight watching, I'm going to do my best to get to every single question. It's going to be hard, though. The hat's destroying my... How dare you all? How dare you all? Giants all day. But look, I'm a lover of baseball. I don't hate, man. I don't hate. Unless you're playing my team. All right, so couple things before we get into the Q&A. All right? First off, obviously, I'll say it again. I just said it earlier. Comic book canon. We have an awesome show tonight. Zor's Tigers for Spine Tick hanging out. Link is below. Sub us up after the show. All right. Outside of that, I did want to show off. I got some ball bearings, guys. Now, for those that don't know, Azores is in the house. What's up, Azores? Can't wait to see you on the canon. Comic Noob. Omniverse. Near Mint. What is going on? You have a question about not having questions? That sounds like a very intricate question. So I've been up in my pressing game. Now, I know I made some videos in the past about pressing. So recently, from my membership, from my Patreon membership, earnings. Big shout out to all my Patreon supporters. That link is below if you guys want to help support the channel via Patreon. I bought a tacking iron, so I've been getting the hang of that. I also recently just bought some ball bearings, some stainless steel ball bearings. So I will be making a video. I got some books in the press right now. I've been using my new tools. I'm in the market for some steel plates, some stainless steel plates for my press. So if anybody knows some nice, affordable 15 by 15 steel presses, or excuse me, steel plates for my press, please let me know. Like, hit me up on IG at journos_comics. Send me a DM. Let me know if you guys are in the market or if you make steel plates or whatever the case may be. Let me know. It'd be greatly appreciated. So just wanted to, I'm excited about that. So I wanted to let all you guys know. I want to let you all know about something else too. I got a book here I'm going to show off. I'm not going to do a review of it because I haven't read it yet, but I did a review of issue number 1 and I really enjoyed book 1, and that is book 2 of Calico. Sigma Comics, an independent publisher. I'm going to take this out of the bag. I'm telling you guys, their link to their website is below. I highly recommend you guys check them out. I'll be reading this book this weekend, and I'll be doing a review on my live show next Friday. So be on the lookout for that. This, just to give a little backstory, I read issue 1. This is a character, and this is for mature readers. It's got a positive spin on it for a good cause even, but it's very mature, very graphic. So your superhero Calico, it gets justice for animal abusers. All right. It's something that's never really been done before. The quality of the comic itself is really nice. Really nice. Great art as well. So again, their website is below. Check it out. I really enjoyed issue 1. I did a review on that after I read it. This was some months back now. I can't wait to get in to issue 2. Absolutely. Oh, look, man, this is dope. This is dope. I just saw this. A big dedication to MF Doom. Rest in peace. That's dope. Look at that. Miguel Poole, what's going on? Slappy Wingnut, what's up? Tough book. Phil, what's up, Phil? Man, and this goes, I brought this up not too long ago about how I was hearing folks be like, man, people that like comic books don't like hip hop, or people that like hip hop aren't into comic books. Y'all don't know about anything when it comes to how the both are significant. MF Doom was a big one. Rest in peace, MF Doom. That is dope. So yes, again, guys, next week I will be doing a review of Calico issue number 2 from Sigma Comics. Check out their website below. Highly recommended. All right. I got one more thing I want to talk about before we get into the Q&A. So, all right. It's been a rough week for me. I'll say that, guys. I've had a lot on my plate just in life. I've been late on getting my videos out this week, so I apologize to you all for that. I usually get them out by like noon Pacific. I've been late. It's been messing up the algorithms. But some of you may know, I'm not going to talk too much on it, but some of you may know that I did kind of a controversial live stream last week. And I went into this live stream trying to have a discussion, an open-ended discussion, so we could bring all folks within the community from different backgrounds, different beliefs, so we could bring everyone to the table and have a respectful discussion and find commonality. I thought I did that pretty well. There were some folks that just, I don't think were really understanding what I was saying. They still were putting walls up and not getting it. And there was one individual that was in the show that was being a bit, closed off in the comments. And I will have to admit, they kind of got to me. And if you guys were there to the end of the show, I kind of showed a side of me that I kind of regret at this point. I let my emotions out, but I wanted to say this. That individual contacted me in private, and we shared private conversation. And we had a conversation, guys. Now, I'm not going to go into detail of any of this, but for those that were there watching last week, for those that know what last week's stream was about, it showed me that we can have a conversation. And I don't know if the individual is watching right now, but I just wanted to give a big shout out to that individual and express my gratitude. You know, and I'm not saying we sit here and we agree on everything, you know, every little thing in life. None of us ever will agree on every little thing in life, but we were able to get through our differences and maybe our misconceptions or whatever it may be and have an understanding where we were both listening to each other. That was the big takeaway that I wanted to happen last week. So moving forward, again, what is my channel about? What is Journos Comics about? Obviously, it's about this hobby that we all love so much. And we come from all different walks of life, different races, colors, creeds, backgrounds, cultures, you know, classes, whatever it may be, whatever we experience, we all turn to this one thing of comic books. And whatever it may be in life, or whatever the issue may be in context to the hobby, we're discussing things that are related to the hobby. Be able to have a conversation. Be able to have a conversation. Because at the end of the day, even if you get into a conversation and you may not agree with somebody, listen before you speak. Listen before you speak. Listen before you judge. And that's it. It's that simple. So I had to get that out. I had to get that off my chest. So with that being said, I forgot. I almost forgot. I have one more little segment to do before we get into the Q&A. Jay Ward, what's going on, Jay Ward? Monique, yes, I agree, absolutely. Hey, Sigma Comics is in the house. Of course, of course. I was just talking about Calico number 2. Like I said, guys, their information is below. Check out their website for sure. Whew. All right, all right. So I'm going to pull something up on screen here because we're going to go over Journos monthly comic book cover submissions. Now, remember, you have to be a YouTube channel member or a Patreon member. Both are below. You click that join button below to become a YouTube channel member for only $1.99 a month. If you are a member of the channel, either via Patreon or via YouTube, you get to submit covers for our monthly cover theme. And today, we're going to show off some of the past week's entries. So bear with me here. We are going to bring up some of the entries here. I'm going to share my screen. We got some really good entries, really good ones. Rush Die Hard, what's going on? Brick Hunter, Bearded One, what's going on? All right, all right. We're going to bring up tab. Here we go. All right, here we go. First up, Shadow Rat. Okay, the theme for May was duos or team-ups. Favorite duos or team-ups on a cover. Right here, we got a beautiful Psylocke and Archangel. I love Psylocke, one of my favorite X-Men. Crimson Dawn #1. I'm not familiar with this book, but I want this book. And now I want this book. Shadow Rat, thank you so much for submitting this. Yeah, Psylocke, Archangel, some later 90s stuff. I believe this is when they rebooted some of the series. I think this is the 98, during the 98 reboots. But still, really cool cover. Awesome characters. Love me some Psylocke. Great entry. Shadow Rat, thank you so much for your entry. All right, we got Muggins Comics. Man, Iron Man was at $291. Nothing better than some War Machine and Iron Man. Look at that. That cover is sick. Very, very reminiscent of Iron Man 2 when, you know, towards the end of the movie, they meet up in that like marshland area and battle it off with the bots and of course Whiplash. Muggins Comics. Thank you so much. That is a beautiful cover. I don't think I have this one. All right, next up we got Cover Junkies. This is a good one. We got Supervillain team up. We got Submariner teaming up with Doctor Doom. This is Supervillain team up number 2. I have been talking about this in months past about the Supervillain team up books. I think that Doctor Doom is going to show up in the MCU sooner than later, and there's a lot of good stuff. I do believe they retell Doom's origin in this, or no, I don't know. Now I'm just trying to go off top in, but I know like Supervillain team up number 1, that book has been increasing in value, but really cool. I mean, we may see Doom and Namor in the MCU together. All right, we got another one for Cover Chunky. He says, this is a new duo, and I'm not entirely sure the bear is really a friend. Can't wait to find out. Eve. Interesting. Looks very interesting, though. I have not read this book. All right. Okay. Moonlit Comics. I don't know if this fits perfectly with a duo or a team up, because I think they're battling together or battling it out against each other, but that's okay. It's still an awesome book. Werewolf by Night number 15. Dracula and Werewolf by Night. So I don't know if they actually team up in the story, but still 2 awesome characters. I would love to see these characters in the MCU. We know the MCU was going the horror genre. Can't wait to see Blade. Can't wait to see these 2 as well. We got another one from Moonlit Comics, and this is a great one. Spectacular Spider-Man number 22. I talked about this in top Spider-Man books to invest in before Spider-Man 3 comes out, because I was just playing around with the fact that, hey, we may not see it in Spider-Man 3, but with the Moon Knight series coming, and with, you know, the talks of Charlie Cox's Daredevil coming, we may see these characters overlap. Moon Knight, Daredevil, Spider-Man. This is the first team up, or the first appearance of Moon Knight in a Spider-Man title. So a really awesome book to have. Thank you so much for showing this off, Moonlit Comics. That is not all, guys. We got a few more. Oh, look at that. I think we got a new member. Oh, X11 Bravo. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for further supporting the channel by becoming a member. I truly, truly appreciate you. Green. I love the green because green is my favorite color. Thank you so much. All right, let's see. We're going to go into another email here. All right, EGS. We got Tony, president of EGS, submitting it. Well, this isn't a duo, but it's a team up. Wow. And some of my favorite DC characters, Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman, the trilogy. This is the Trinity. This is Superman, Batman number 10 in a 9.2 EGS custom label. Very nice. Look at that. The custom label sitting there, paired up really nice with that background, with that sunset background. Can I zoom in a little bit? Who is that signature? Oh man. Let me see if Tony said in the email. He said, oh, signed by Michael Turner. Yes. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Man, what a talent. Lost way too soon, man. That's beautiful. It looks like it says 200 and something out of maybe 1,000. I can't really read that. Awesome. Thank you so much, Tony, for your for submitting that for this month. All right, Pedro. What do we got? Look at this, Pedro. Double feature. Kevin Smith, Mike Allred, Paul Dickey, Tom Fowler, Sergio Aragonés. I don't know how to say that name. Double feature number 12. That's cool. Some Jay and Silent Bob action. Look at that. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome. Pedro, thank you so much for that. All right, I think we got all right, we got a few more here from Simon. Simon, X-Men number 47, The Beast and Iceman. Awesome. Hey, some 12-cent X-Men is always a beautiful, beautiful choice. We got some old school Beast. Nice. That's right, Jay Ward. Marvel Premiere number 3, first Doctor Strange solo. That's the one that's been picking up a lot of steam too. Thank you. Talking about some sleeper Doctor Doom books. Nice. Okay. Simon's got a couple more here. Oh, I love the Marvel team-ups. I absolutely love the Marvel team-ups. Marvel team-up number 7, beautiful 20 center. Spider-Man and Thor. Look at that. That is clean too, Simon. That looks like a nice high-grade book. Look at that white. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love the 20-cent Marvel books. Some people don't like them. I do. All right, and lastly, we got, what is it? Thor number 396, Black Knight team up with some Thor with Stormbreaker, I believe, or is that Thor? Is that when he came back? I don't know. Yep. Somebody knows. Somebody knows. All right, nice late 80s newsstand. Awesome. Thank you so much, Simon. Simon is a huge Thor fan. Nice. All right, then we got one more. Sagi. Oh, another Marvel team up. Yes. Marvel team up number 124, Spider-Man and the Beast. Awesome. I was just talking with Simon too, because he submitted that Marvel team up. I have a good amount of Marvel team ups, but I'm gonna start going after some more. I mean, for somebody that's a huge Spider-Man fan that has like complete runs of almost every Spider-Man run except for Amazing Spider-Man, because some of those Silver Age books, y'all know. Marvel team up, man. I need to be grabbing some more. So, all right, everyone that submitted your entries, thank you all so much. Awesome entries again. For those that want to submit, you have to be either a Patreon member of the channel or a YouTube channel member. It's only $1.99 a month. And what you do is you find me on Instagram. The best way is to find me on Instagram. Drop the hashtag journos, or post your cover. Drop the hashtag journos monthly covers. You can email me at Captain Journo Comics. You can private message me on Instagram, but I don't recommend that because I get a lot of messages on Instagram and sometimes they can get lost. So the best way to showcase your books once you're either a Patreon member or a YouTube channel member is to post it on Instagram with the hashtag Journos monthly covers. For the rest of the month of May, we will be running the favorite duo or team up covers. So, all right, everyone, who is ready for some Q&A? Woo, it's warm in here today, guys. It's that time of year. It's getting hot. I need to get me some water. I got my fan going, but I have a plug-in cooler that I didn't want to run because it's loud. I need you guys to hear me. All right, Q&A, guys. Here we are. It's just open to whatever. I have no topic of discussion. It's whatever you guys want. Take that, dummy. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. P-Kill. Oh my gosh. Oh, P-Kill, smoother hairy balls. So I'm not gonna answer that, but it's funny because I got hit up about a sponsorship for a company, Smooth My Balls. That's all I'll say. I didn't accept the sponsorship, but that's hilarious. That is hilarious. All right, Wolvie and Ghost Rider. I love that team up. X11, absolutely. Pedro, when are we getting Journo's exclusive comics? Okay, it's a good question. There's two ways that we can do that. There's one, there's the Oh, I thought I had it here, but I don't. I must have moved it. Dang, I was going to show it off. Do I have it around here? I do. So there's the Journos exclusive custom covers that I do like this. This one's not finished. But I've also been looking into getting my own variant exclusives from the big publishers. And I got a lot of slack from this from somebody on Instagram. I won't say any names, but I did sign a contract with CGC to do my own signature series. So what it will be is it'll be something like this. You get a commission, something like this, and you can have the option of getting it graded and slabbed as a yellow label signature series. I got so much hate for that. Somebody was in my inbox saying, oh, so you talk crap about CGC, but then you go ahead and like partner with them. Guys, guess what? It's not even like that. First off, I will talk about my dislikes with any company, even if I use them, because that's my right as a consumer. I want the company to get better. I'll talk about CBCS if I feel like I have a problem with them. I love EGS and what Tony's been doing with his company. I did an honest review and said where I felt like they can maybe improve. That's what I do. I don't censor myself. But guess what? This exclusive signature series that I have going on with CGC, I can do the same thing with CBCS, which I might. So I have two options. So I give my customer bases two options. So I'm moving on from that. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right. Let's see. Most underrated series of 2021. I don't know. I did read the first issue of The Many Deaths of Lila Star, and I absolutely loved it, from Boom Studio. I highly recommend it. One issue in, highly recommend it. What's the best way to fix a spine roll if you don't have a press? Well, man, Caleb, tough question. If you have a handheld humidifier, okay, I'd show you mine, but it's over there, and I don't want to reach up and show you my bum again like I've done in the past. If you have a handheld humidifier, you can flatten out the book, get some humidity, or put it in a humidity chamber, get some humidity on the book. And then I know a lot of people use tiles. If you have tiles laying around, you can just put a heavyweight tile on the book. I highly recommend you not putting the tile down, on the book itself. I would use some kind of like SRP paper or something like that, and then put the tile down. Or, hey, you got any heavy boxes? You can sit the box down. But I just honestly, I wouldn't recommend doing anything really without a press. I mean, if you want to start really fixing books, you can spend $150, $200 on, your cheap run-of-the-mill knockoff presses that they might not be the best out there, but they tend to at least get the job done. Prime time, what's going on? What other YouTube creator has influenced or inspired you? Wow. I'd have to say every single one that I watched, including you, Primetime. Guys, if you aren't subbed to Primetime, go check out Primetime Treasure Hunters. He's got a lot of goodies and good tips, especially if you're into the reselling market. But I always go back to giving a big shout out to those that I started watching way back in the beginning before I even did my channel. And I always got to mention Don Comic Book Junkie because, he's someone that I consider a friend and somebody that really got me into this community of YouTube. Comic Book Crypt of Castle Hill, Mike, another one. Just an amazing storyteller, amazing guy that loves the hobby and has been around in the hobby and has some great stories to tell. As of late, I'm inspired by everyone that is really doing things, from your little guys to your big YouTubers. I don't watch a lot of YouTube. I don't. I said that because I'm so busy as of late. I produce content 7 days a week, and I work another job as an educator. So I don't get around, whether it's, folks that I consider, that I built friendships with, like Swaggle or Spine Ticks and folks like that. To, you know, your bigger folks like, you know, Comic Bueller, you know, or even Comic Tom. You know, it's hard to really get around to watching anyone for me, but I try to set some time aside at least once a week, maybe twice a week to catch a video, you know, and I'll rotate, you know, so over a course of a month, I'll check out one of Bueller's shows. I'll check out one of Tom's shows, especially if it's something that catches my eye. I'll put it in a save later. But then I'll hop on to, you know, like I'll check out Pressable Defects or, you know, Swaggle or, you know, yeah, I mean, any of those smaller folks that I see in my chats, I try to check you guys out as well. And especially if you guys leave comments and it seems like you have a name where it's like, you know, you tell me like, oh, I did this in my video, I'll at least go subscribe and maybe I'll come back later and watch you guys. But this community as a whole inspires me, even if you're not a content creator and you're just here watching and supporting day in and day out. All right, let's see. Oh, shoot. See, I got one and then I saw one from Shadow Rat. Shoot. Here we go. What are the different era ages of comic books? From what I could tell, there are either 4, 5, or 8 different area ages, depending on where you get the information. Right. Yeah. There's contradicting information out there. But you got, you know, before the Golden Age, which I believe somebody, is it there's a couple names for it. I think there's like, I think some folks call it I can't think of it, but like the Platinum Age. I don't know the technical term for what led up to the Golden Age. Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, Copper Age, and Modern Age. Golden Age, and when we talk about the superhero genre, what started the superhero genre, Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, Copper Age, and then Modern. So where it ends or begins is controversial to some. But the one that's most controversial to me is where Bronze Age ends and where Copper Age ends. Because a lot of people don't even recognize Copper as an age, but it's absolutely an age, in my humble opinion. You got to understand, books in the 80s were not anything like even books in the mid to late 90s, let alone 2000s. All right. And even books in the 90s are completely different than most books in the 2000s. So what I do is, you know, you run your Bronze Age up to 1983, and then you have the changing of the context and of the tone that started happening in the early to mid 80s, as well as, you know, your Crisis on Infinite Earths events that completely changed DC, and they rebooted everything and took a whole new route, right? So 1984, I say 1984 up to 1992. Some say 1991. I say 1992. That's your Copper Age. And then I personally look at, I guess you could say 1991, because I look at 1992 up until about 2004 as another age. I don't have a name for it, but it's definitely not modern. It's not modern. We can't, you know, we called it modern in the 90s because in the 90s it was the present time and it was modern. The 90s aren't modern anymore. You know, you could have called the 60s modern if you were living in them. It's not modern anymore. Comic books started to change into what they are today in the early 2000s in many different ways. And I don't have time to go into detail right now. But 2004, you had around 2003, 2004, you had the release of The Walking Dead, which really created that indie market in how we know it today. You started having these events that changed the tone of the industry. For Marvel, it was House of M and then Civil War, right? You had a lot going on. The art started changing again. The way we marketed and told stories started changing again. So that's a complete different age. And then you have 2004 to current. What I would like to do, and we're going to see over the next few years, I would call 2004 to 2019 the modern age, right? And then I think like post-COVID, 2020 and up is going to be a different age in and of itself, but we'll see, because we're only, you know, I mean, you can't really gauge something within a couple of years, but yeah. All right. Yeah, prime time. Yeah, whoever was hating Hummy had no business sense. I agree. All right, let's see. Louis Logic says, can you tell us more about your art and music background? Wow. So again, guys, I'm trying to keep my answers as brief as I can, because I want to make sure we have time to get through a lot of them. So as an artist, I've talked about this before. I was drawing as far as I can remember. If I could pick up a pencil or something or a crayon, I was drawing. I talked about how comic books really paired with me as an artist. Some of the first drawings I remember drawing were Ninja Turtles. And my first comic that I ever owned, I was like 4, maybe 5 years old. I picked up a Random House Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic book, Archie Adventures, off the rack in the Alpha Beta grocery store. So my art goes way back. I was always drawing and doodling. When I was in second grade, I met a good friend. And by the time we were in third grade, we started drawing our own comic books. We would get just regular lined paper, fold them, staple them, and make a comic book. We created characters like the Juggler, Tidal Wave, Clockman, just to name a few that I can remember. We had a group called the Awesome Eight. He created a character that was like a panda, a mutant panda named Oso. Man, I still have some of the books that we created too. I should show them off one day. And then when I got into high school, I never took a language, which I should have. But you could either take art or language for those credits. I took art, and I had an amazing art teacher all through high school. His name was Mr. Wong. He was an older Chinese man. He came to he was an immigrant into America as a child. His parents came over with him. He was a really good influence, and he was very harsh. He was very harsh, I think, culturally, and how he taught. He was rough around the edges, but I appreciated him so much. And after I graduated, because I was a mess in high school, I was an absolute mess. But he's one silver lining that I look back, and after I graduated, I wrote him a long letter and telling him how grateful I was, because he taught me, like, taking his classes is what allowed me to be able to draw like this. He taught me everything I know about drawing. So big shout out to Mr. Wong. I don't know if he's still with us. That was a while ago, but bless his heart and soul wherever he is today. Now, music, I was always big on music. Music was always huge in my life. As a kid, I would always have my Walkman, and I would always have my Walkman on with my earphones in, and I would be walking, pressing the earphones up. I listened to all kind of music. Like, I used to sit with the record player with my mom's, Michael Jackson Thriller, or Stevie Wonder, or Sam Cooke, the Pointer Sisters, the Beatles. I would sit with the record next to the record player, and I would pull the records out of the sleeves, and I'd sit there, and I remember the smell and the feel and everything, and I would just sit there looking at the sleeves. I remember, like, my bigger cousin used to come over and babysit us, and we used to listen to the Footloose soundtrack, and we danced to it. Pointer Sisters, Hall & Oates. Man, I mean, music was just always in my life, and I didn't start making music until I was in junior high school, when I started writing raps. And, by the time I was in junior high, I mean, Tupac obviously was already a big influence in my life. And I grew up in the Bay Area, listening to a lot of Bay Area rappers, but I listen to all kinds of hip hop and music in general. You catch me listening to some Def Leppard one day, then I'd be putting in some RBL Posse the next, or some Boot Camp, anyways, I started writing raps. I wrote a rap in the 8th grade for Red Ribbon Week about using drugs, because Red Ribbon Week is like anti-drugs. I won first place in that, and they played my song over the loudspeaker in the entire middle school. That was pretty awesome. But from there, man, I just started. What I used to do is I used to go to the local music shops, the Sam Goodies in the warehouses. And I don't know if y'all remember, but they used to have cassette singles. They used to have CD singles as well. But, you know, you had the hot hit song, you know, and you buy the cassette single and it would have the song. And then it would have like the radio edit, and then it would have the instrumental. So what I would do is I would get a blank cassette tape, and that cassette tape and record. I don't know if y'all remember how to record cassette to cassette. And I had a regular little AWA stereo. I didn't have a microphone. I had headsets. I had headphones. I used to plug the headphones into the microphone jack. And I used to play the instrumental and hit record on the blank tape deck. And I used to rap through the headset, through the headphones, using it as my microphone. So I used to take all different kind of, you know, I had like the West Coast artists, the Bay Area artists, the East Coast artists. I'd get all their instrumentals and rap over them. And then I would make copies of the tapes, and I would draw my own little covers, cut them out, put them in the cassette tape cover, and I go hand them out. You know, and I used to go to the big homies around the block, you know, that used to, you know, scrap on the corner and whatnot. And, you know, we go in there and we, you know, have me and my homie that I came up rapping with, and we'd sit and, you know, they'd pop the tape in, they, you know, light a blunt, you know, just pass it around and be like, you know, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, those were the days. I was, you know, and then from there, I kept doing. I used to rock house parties. I used to go all over the Bay Area hitting up house parties. And then I started networking. I started meeting and networking with artists that I grew up idolizing. You know, I got to work with the Outlaws, which is Tupac's group. Tupac had died, obviously, at this time. But Tupac and the Outlaws saved my life in more ways than one. So I got to network with them. I did a couple songs with them. Zion I, who's local out of Oakland, Hieroglyphics. I became to work hard with Hieroglyphics. I actually started running Hieroglyphics merchandising department after a while. So I worked did shows with Wu-Tang, KRS-One, got to open up for KRS-One, Dead Prez. You know, I got to work with JT the Bigger Figure and San Quinn, Smith & Wesson, Boot Camp Click, Jacka, Mob Figures. I mean, it was a blessing. And then I got signed to a local record label out of the Bay Area that was working with a lot of these same artists, and a lot of reggae artists too, like Kali Buzz and the Marleys and whatnot. So it was a good couple. That was a good couple of years of my life until I had to there was a lot going on in my life where I had to move my family out of Richmond and get away from everything and do kind of an exodus. And I put my music on the back burner, and I just said, you know what? I gotta do what's right by my family. And I never really picked it up since. You know, I still have hundreds of songs that I never released. I made a few songs here and there over the last years. Got to network with the Outlaws again and make more music with them. But, you know, I found, look, you know, the music will always be important to me, but I have you guys now, and I'm happy that I can be here and still have a voice in an amazing community such as this. So I did get long-winded there, but man, you get me talking about music and stuff, man. Take That Dummy says he's fatigued on variants. I get it. Look, I'm not going to get too much into this rabbit hole. I understand that variants are it's crazy. I think it's absolutely crazy. But that goes back to almost everything and how I approach things. Put yourself in someone else's shoes. It's that simple. For me, 40 variants of a cover doesn't bother me because I'm not looking for them anyways. I don't care about them, so it doesn't bother me. It's putting artists to work, which is good. As an artist, I'm so glad that there's 40 different artists that can get work off of one issue of a title, right? And there's a demand for it. If there wasn't a demand for it, they wouldn't be making all these variants. People like variants. If you read the comments on the variant video that I did, because I said, I want to let you guys know, my point was this. The majority of people that buy variants, even like exclusive variants at like $50 to $100, they buy them because they love the art. It's like going to an art show and buying a Picasso for thousands or millions of dollars. It's like, I wouldn't do that. You're crazy. It's just a piece of art. I could do art myself, but it's worth it for them. A lot of people are willing to put the money down simply because they love it. They're not looking for the book to for them to be able to flip and make money somewhere down the line. So the way I look at it is there's a lot of variables, especially from a business standpoint, that it's good for the hobby. It's bringing money into the hobby, and it's good for the people that want to collect it. For me, I don't even pay much attention to them unless it's a cover that I like and I get to have choices, right? The only thing that I have really issues with is how, the minimum, you got to order this much of cover A to get this. I don't really like that, but at the same time, if you're an LCS and you're ordering that much just to sell a few of this variant and you're losing money, then that's your fault. You shouldn't have to worry. Don't worry about the variant then. Sell your cover A books. Sell your books. I'm going to move on from that, though. I could sit and talk about that for a long time as well. Kaya B, what's going on? X11, is there a market for some of the more risque comics like Raymond Gregory's work? If so, are there variants and limited editions worth picking up okay. I'm not too big on the risque. There is a market. I mean, there's cult markets for everything. There's underground markets for everything. I don't, it's nothing that I really, pay any mind to. I think the only risque book that I really have in my collection is one of the Betty Page ones, just because I love collecting the Betty Page, especially, the photo variants. Those are cool, but I don't really know too much on that. I can't dive into detail, but I mean, look, there's a market for old Playboy magazines, for risque art or publications and mags and stuff like that. There's a market out there for them. But hey, look, Google is your friend. I would definitely dive into Google and try to do some researching. Where in the country are you from? Says Keith. I'm assuming country, you mean the U.S. I'm from California. I currently am located in Sacramento, but Northern California, obviously, but I grew up in the Bay Area, Richmond, Oakland, born in Oakland, San Francisco. Been here my whole life. My mom's side of the family came to the Bay from Chicago. Let's see. Yeah, Mojo, Layla Star is only going to be 5 issues. I know. Hey, at least we get a full story arc, though. That's good. Let's see. Let's see. A lot of feedback to some of the questions, which is great, guys. Let's see. You got a lot of people answered the press question. A lot of good information. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I'm getting through all these comments trying to get to the next question. I'm glad you guys were keeping each other involved in convo, though. Let's see. Serge! We're good, Serge. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Serge. Thanks for hopping in, man. All right, I'm going to have to get caught up to the questions. There's so many. So many. Thank you, Wesley. I appreciate your comment and the sentiment. I know, Omniverse. I know. Patreon members don't have special colors. Got to figure out how to make that. See if we can figure something out. You know what? I got an idea. I know. Guys, what do you think of this? As a patron member, what do you think of me letting you guys be moderators of my live streams? How about that? That way, you guys get to help moderate the chat, and you get the little wrench so I know it's you. Let me know your thoughts on that. I think that would be great. Louis, yeah, Outlaws, man. I did three tracks with the Outlaws, man. That was a huge. I mean, with Tupac, with not being able to make a song with Tupac, that's the closest I could get. That was huge. It was absolutely huge, man. And those guys, I mean, the Tupac Outlaws Still I Rise album helped change my life, saved my life. It really saved my life. So, yep. What's your favorite comic book video games? Nice shirt. Appreciate it. Yes. I don't play video games that much. My son had me playing the Spider-Man PS4. So that was fun. But you guys are gonna laugh at me. You guys are gonna laugh at me. X-Men for Sega Genesis. The X-Men Sega Genesis game. That was one of my favorite games growing up. I just aged myself. Yep. I just aged myself. So there you go. There you go. I like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle arcade game as well. But, yep. That's what I got for you. Sega. Sega. All right, let's see. Oh, Jay. Don't throw shade on Stanley. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but be nice. I don't even know what you guys are talking about. Let's see. Next question. New Light. Boycott the MCU. Hey, look, to each their own. But, all right then. I guess your loss. If it ain't for you, that's all good. Or it ain't for everyone, but what a time to be alive with what's going on in the MCU. Let's see. Have you ever watched the channel Bat in the Sun? Keith, I don't think I have. Leave that. If you leave that in a comment, I'll try to remember and go watch it. Lady Death Guns, Lady Death fam. How do you feel about LCS's selling the free Something's Killing Children 8th Prince? All right. The Comic Criminal. How do you feel about LCS's selling? I'm gonna respond to your question with a bunch of questions. I can't really answer this because I have to ask these questions. One, how was the book distributed? Okay. How do the LCSs get their hands on it? Was there stipulations around how it's supposed to be distributed? How much are they selling it for? Those are things I have to ask, and I don't know those things. So, yep, I have to have those answered, and I just can't. I can't do it. What's my oldest comic, says Dan. I do believe it is a Porky Pig comic book from 1940 or 1941. 1940 or 1941. Porky Pig. Yep. I don't have any old Bronze Age, Golden Age DC like that. I think my oldest DC book, I mean, I have some 10 centers, but I don't think they're in the I think they're early 50s still. And I have some late 50s DC 10 cent stuff. But most of my 10 cent, I have a good handful of like Porky Pig and some Dell books and stuff like that. But I really do hope to have an original Captain America book one day, Golden Age. And I really want to get some more earlier 10 cent Wonder Woman's and Batman's and Superman's as well. All right, let's see. I always wanted to get some Tank Girl. Should I get? Hey, Remy, if you're a Tank Girl fan, go for it. Go for it. I mean, look, Tank Girl has a solid cult following. If you're talking about revenue, return on investment, you know, being able to make that profit there after an initial investment, I can't really speak to that. But if it's something that you love and you do your research and you find some good prices for some Tank Girl stuff, go for it. Green Man, Bay Area, that's what's up. Do you collect baseball cards? I have some up here. I was going to grab them, but they're way up there. I have a whole closet full of baseball cards, sports cards. I have tons of Barry Bonds rookies, Griffey rookies. I got an Ozzie Smith rookie. I got a Jerry Rice rookie, Tim Brown rookie card. I got some early Michael Jordans, not a Michael Jordan rookie. Frank Thomas rookies, Will Clark rookies, Greg Maddux rookies, Buster Posey rookies, Madison Bumgarner rookies, Mike Trout rookies. Yeah, man, I used to love, not so much anymore. If I have spending money, I put it into comics. But yeah, I love sports cards. I do. I should show them off one day. X11, any thoughts on shelf lighting and possible damage to display comics, specifically colored LED lights? Okay. Yes. Great question. Great question. If you have any type of lights, all right, even if they're mild, like these LEDs back here, they're not putting off too much light. These change color. Right now, they're kind of an orangey yellow. I wouldn't have them on all the time, especially if you have comics exposed. All right. So it's just, you know, even like I had some books where, you know, you have the lights kind of like showcasing the book. It's good for like maybe when you're in the room or you're showing them off. Or for me, if I'm showing off my background in a stream or a video. But I'm just very cautious. I can't sit and tell you that having some mild LED, even color lights, anywhere close to your books is going to cause any noticeable long-term damage. But personally, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it because they're still getting exposed. So minimize any type of light that your comics are being exposed to. Yep. So, yep. Don't be hesitant to have a nice display. Just look, if you're not in the room, turn the lights off. That's just the best advice I can get. You know, just like you do with standard room lights, you know. Plus it'll save you on your energy bill, right? Let's see. Louis says for something is killing the children. 8th, you were supposed to get it free if you had proof of purchase for Berserker 1 and 2. Most shops I seen were selling it $9.99 despite the book not even having a price barcode. Okay. I thank you, Louis, for providing a little bit of context. I don't have all the context, so I'm going to answer it like this. Look, if you're doing what you were supposed to do with it, meaning anybody that bought that Berserker, if they are getting it for free, but yet you want to sell them for those that didn't buy the Berserker for $9.99 and people are willing to pay $9.99 for it? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not a crazy high price. You know, and it's affordable price for somebody that maybe didn't do their due diligence to buy the Berserker book. Now they can get their hands on it and help support their LCS at the same time. The only problems I have with this, with the context that I have now, are two things. One, if you're trying to sell them to the people that should be getting them for free, or if two, you're trying to sell them to make money, and then the people that are supposed to get them for free aren't getting them because now you have no more left. You see, there's never a black and white answer with these things. The truth always lies somewhere in between, in my humble opinion. All right, guys, we got a good 5 to 10 minutes left here. I'm going to get to a few more questions. Again, if you are just showing up, you're not subscribed to the channel, please take some time to do so. I appreciate your guys' support week in and week out. And of course, we are about 40 minutes away from our comic book canon show with special guest Azores Tiger of Spine Ticks. Link is below to our Comic Book Canna show. You got to give us a sub over there if you're not yet. I'm telling you, you're missing out. All right, let's get to a few more questions. X11, I still have my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comforter sheets as well. That's awesome, man. I am going to call my group member over to this live stream. Okay, awesome. Awesome, man. Appreciate it. Let's see. Bearded One, what's your opinion on the man who carried Marvel in the Golden Silver Age? Ditko. Simon, Ramita, Thomas, Kirby, does Stan take too much credit? Oh, man, this is a rabbit hole. Bearded One, it's a rabbit hole of a question. I think all those names should be held to the highest esteem. All of them. I think Stan gets a bad rap. Obviously, since his death, there's been these horrible, disgusting articles that I don't pay no mind to. Do I feel that during those years, predominantly from the 60s to the 80s, do I feel that certain individuals' names should have gotten more publicity and respect? I do. Do I feel it's Stanley's fault? I don't. And I think Stanley knew that. I think Stanley understood what he needed to do for Marvel. And I think he did the best that he could. And I think later on in life, he realized that maybe he could have did it a little differently, or everyone involved could have did it a little differently. And I know that he cared. And I know that in his later years, whenever he was asked about the success of Marvel, he always brought up Jack Kirby. At least if he was talking about Spider-Man, he always brought up Ditko. Well, go watch any interview from his last 10, 15 years of his life. Go watch him. When somebody is giving him all the credit, he says, nope. He says, I was only there writing this. I don't know exactly what he would say, but he's like, you gotta say the names, Kirby, Ditko. But the thing is, and I think the thing is, you got to understand, everyone. Sometimes business is business with good intentions, even though it doesn't look like it. And I don't think that Marvel would have been what it was if Marvel didn't market Stan Lee the way that they did. All right? I don't know if that makes sense to everyone, but I'm going to repeat it. The Stan Lee Presents. Hold tight. I think we had one blip. I hope we've been good so far. I wanted to get through it without blips, but I was saying, I think we're good now. I was saying this. I don't think Stan Lee, or I don't think Marvel would have had the success it would have had if, Marvel didn't come to Stan Lee and say, we need you to be the face of this company. And it is what it is. It is what it is. So, yep, that's what I got to say about that. Let's see if there's a couple more questions we could get to. Internet strikes. Yep. Oh, man. XJ9. Cool opinion, XJ9. I disagree with you 100%. I'm sorry that you're upset about that, though. I really am. I'm very sorry. Maybe you should watch something else then. I don't know. Something that'll, make you sleep better at night. Yeah, sorry. You want a cookie? I can go bake some cookies. Comic Toby, what's going on? How do you feel about Bruce Lee, born in San Francisco? Have I learned any Kung Fu? Bruce Lee is a freaking legend. I keep telling my sons we need to watch the Dragon film that was done in 1993. Great biopic, by the way. Bruce Lee's a freaking legend, man. I do not know Kung Fu. I don't. I wish I did. I wish I knew some kind of martial arts. I wish I did. Jay, you're a Stanley hater. I'm just kidding. I'm giving you a hard time. But don't spam my chat, okay? How do you feel about X-Men? What? Jay, I don't know about that. Where they fight Lucifer. I'm not familiar with that issue. Why does all the best TV shows get canceled and don't get the respect they deserve? I can't answer that because I think TV shows and art are subjective. I know there's been some that have been canceled that I'm like, what are you guys thinking? And then there's some that continue to go on for season after season. I'm like, really? Obviously, you know, some of the Marvel ones, you know, on Netflix, Daredevil, Punisher, but those got canceled for a different reason. Those got canceled because Kevin Feige was saying, nope, we're going to control all this crap. And that's why I guarantee you we're going to see Charlie Cox and John Bernthal back in the MCU doing their thing. I am confident of it. What's my opinion on the current She-Hulk run? I don't have an opinion on it. I think I bought the first issue, but I haven't read it or anything. Sorry, Omniverse. I'm sorry. Is ASM 316 undervalued in your opinion? Trying to decide if I should sell in the next 6 months. All right, here's the thing. I'm going to answer this. Then I'll do one brief look over the questions, and then I'm at the end of the show so I can go get ready for Comic Book King. Is Amazing Spider-Man 316 undervalued? Yes, in a sense that I do think that it's been undervalued for a while. I think there's a lot of comic books in the market that essentially have been undervalued. Now, how do you define undervalued? Well, that's a whole nother question that we could bring up and talk about here. But I can't dive into details on this. But there's more demand in the market right now, and I don't think it's going away. So that's the best way I can explain it. How do you explain something being undervalued or overvalued? Undervalued means, going from undervalued to where it's at now, because you've seen the price increase over the last year, means there's more demand in the market. All right. I don't think that demand is simply because of speculators or for people that are just trying to rush with FOMO, trying to buy the book so they can flip it and make a profit. That's always there. It's always there. It always plays a role. But I do believe that the new money that's been coming into the market, the new demand that's been coming into the market is here to stay. Now, to the second half of your question, should I flip it and sell it in the next 6 months? Here's the thing. There's a lot of books that have gotten hot over the last year plus since COVID that essentially can have ebb and flow in the near future. They can decrease some. It's natural. Will they ever go back to what they were before pre-COVID? I don't think so. Most of them anyways. So to sell over the next 6 months, depending on what you paid for it, if you bought it 6 months ago from now and you sell it in 6 months, you could probably make a profit. Probably make a solid profit. By selling it in 6 months, you may be able to sell it for more than what you can now. But here's the thing. Say in 2 years from now, we see Tom Hardy and Tom Holland's characters, Venom and Spider-Man, in a movie together. Whether it's in the next Venom movie or a Sony Spider-Verse movie or Sonyverse, you know, where they're crossing over, or MCU Spider-Man movie or whatever. If we see that happen, I guarantee you, as well as 299, 300, 252, all the other symbiote key books, Secret Wars 8, 316 is going to continue to increase in value. So here's the thing. A lot of these books, I feel, are still solid long-term investments, right? But do you want to wait that long? That's the question. Why would you want to sell in the short term? You can sell in the short term, and you're going to have to ask yourself, I bought it for 50 bucks. I could sell it for 400. It might dip a year after that down to 300, but then 2 years later, it might increase to 800. There's always a risk. Nobody predicts the future. What type of profit are you willing to accept, knowing that you can either lose out or gain more if you hold on to it? Are you selling it because you want to put some money in your pocket, or are you trying to invest in buy another book for your personal collection? You got to ask yourself all these questions. But I think ASM 316 can definitely see some ebb and flow over the next 6 to 12 months, but it's going to stay at a solid price regardless. But if we have any more inclination of Venom, I mean, even without Tom Holland, if this Venom 2 booms, I think that book can continue to boom without any ebb and flow. That's my take on it. All right, let's see if we got anything else here before I wrap up. Jay. No, I appreciate it, Jay. I know it's all for fun. Bob Collegs, what's going on? Thanks for joining. All right. We need Punisher and Daredevil for sure. That's for sure. Ernesto. All right, last question, guys. Last question. Ernesto, thanks for hanging out tonight. First time talker. So do you think Savage Dragon 102 is a good investment since it has the first preview of Invincible? Okay. All right, yes. This is the last question. The whole controversial preview thing. So this is how I answer these things. Do I think it's a good investment? Look, anything's a good investment if you get it at a good price and you find some type of value in it. And when you're talking investment, you're usually talking monetary value. If you get it at a good price and it's worth more than that, it's a good investment. All right? Even good investments have risks. When you're talking about previews via ads, I think there's always going to be people that demand those, and they're going to look at those and be like, well, that's the first appearance. Look, you see him. There he is in the picture, even though it's an ad. Do I ever think that those people are going to demand these types of books to where they're like really considered big key issues? No, I don't. Does that mean it's not a good investment? No, absolutely not. Look at Daredevil 115. Is it 115? I believe that's one of the books that has the ad of Hulk 181 with Wolverine. When the demand for these ads as a first appearance started to increase, this book in a decent grade, in a nice mid grade, maybe higher mid grade, went from respectfully a $10 book to like a $30 book. And then over time, that book, because I believe it's a 15-cent book, or is it? No, it's a 20-cent book. It's a 20-cent book, I think roughly right before it went to 25, maybe. It came, obviously 1974 is when Hulk 181 came out, so it might be a 25-center. Ultimately, as it ages out, it's going to gain in value just because of the age of the book. But is it ever going to be something that's extremely sought after? I don't think so. I think there's going to be this kind of cult following of collectors that go after the ads as first appearances, but I don't think it's ever going to be something extreme. So if you like those as first appearances because it's the first time you see them, fine. Is it ever going to be considered a true first appearance? Absolutely not. And I don't think they're going to be extremely crazy on the market, but you got to gauge fair market value and see if you could get one for hopefully maybe a little under fair market value and just hope that it slowly gains value over time. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. This was an awesome stream. Great questions asked today. I'm sorry if I didn't get to your guys' questions. I tried. There was just so much. I really appreciate you all. I don't know if I got feedback in the chat about making my patrons moderators in my live stream. So Patreons, I'm gonna hit you all up. I'm gonna leave a post on my Patreon page and take a poll. So again, thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you for all the questions. Appreciate it. BBB, thanks for being here. SG, thank you so much. SJ9, thank you guys. Kaya, Jay, I really do hope to see you guys over on the Cannon. We are 25 minutes away. Special guest, Azores Tiger from Spine Ticks. I'm about to go meet up with my co-host, Jeff, right now. See you all over on the Cannon. Peace.